This is the part where I would say it's time to have more fun with another Whack-a-Hovind, but the problem is, on this week's Whack an Atheist, Kent decided to cover abortion. And that's not exactly a pleasant topic, to say the least. Um, that being said, Kent still has fundamentally wrong ideas surrounding the subject, as he does with virtually anything regarding actual biology, when you really think about it. Um, I'm going to try to make it through this video. I've looked a little bit ahead and I haven't noticed anything that's just outright horrible. Um, I should note that he didn't stream this to YouTube. Or I should say he streamed the first couple of minutes and then has the stream cut and broadcasts it on the rest of his social presences. So in this case, we've got Rumble, since I thought that would be the quickest way to go, and I don't want to touch Odyssey. I despise that place on a principle, level of principle. That's a whole other discussion to be had. We're here for Kent Hovind and his well, put it simply, his complete bullshit. Gonna try to have fun where we can on this one. As always, the focus on this is ripping into the convicted felon you see in front of you. I'll provide some commentary on the lies he makes where applicable, but I'm doing this off the cuff. I haven't had time to prepare a slideshow and pull up, quotes from a century ago and, gather together my collection of, 50-year-old textbooks to try to come up with some abstract counter to Kent. That's not the point of me doing this. Other people have torn apart every single thing this man has to say. I don't need to do it. So I'm going to point and laugh, and as I've said before, milk him like the lol cow he is. We've already put this off enough. Let's get to it.
Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama, August the 7th, 2024. Tonight, Whack an Atheist, Kamala Harris. Not actually an atheist, I don't think, but she sure supports some of the atheist causes.
Now, I'll give him credit for saying that she isn't an atheist, because when I saw the original stream and just jumped around to wonder, to find out why it ended so suddenly, I didn't hear that part. And so I'll give him props for at least acknowledging that. But yeah, this is gonna be as much of his right wing insanity as it is just his complete lack of one empathy for the entire female half of the population, um, and two, just you'll see. Like I said, I've looked ahead a little bit. You'll see. If you know Kent, you already know what's coming. If not, this will just help put you into understanding a bit of the headspace where he is.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. For the folks who believe the Bible is true, let's see how do I get this right here. Dinosaur Adventureland, right there. An old fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right wing, radical, chicken eating Baptist church, King James Baptist Church, and Kent Hovind here. We got all kinds of vehicles going on. Let's see, we're straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles. If you want to come visit, people come visit all the time. Next, I almost tonight did Adam Savage.
Now, I want to point out that in my last major Whack-a-Hovind, I didn't know who the subject, I think Hank Green, was. And some people who found the video because Hank Green's name's mentioned in it kind of ripped into me a bit on that. I don't tend to follow most, like, more of the more mainstream YouTube content. I hunt out my own stuff, suggested pages and such. I tend to avoid on principle. So it wasn't something I'm aware of. I knew of him through Vlogbrothers, but I never watched that kind of content. It's not for me. Um, but a few people had commented that he's kind of stabbing, poking. I would draw the analogy poking the dragon a bit too much. That he's attacking a really well liked and high value person on YouTube, and doing Adam Savage would be the same way. Now, Kamala Harris, there's going to be so much talking about her given the current election situation that this is just going to be, more of the noise inside of the YouTube searches. No one's gonna, search Kamala Harris and Kent Hovind's video pops up first. Not that this is even on YouTube or tagged that way anyway, but just to be saying. Even here on Rumble, there's gonna be 1,000 other videos talking about her. But Adam Savage, he does that one and it's on YouTube. I don't know if he's covered him before or not, but that's a pretty well known and well loved person. So that's going to draw a lot of people to, well, give their commentary on Kent. At least we can hope so.
I switched him to next week. We got to do Camel. I couldn't believe the stuff I found out. Somebody sent me the cool note. Did you see this?
Also, Kent, her name is Kamala, not Kamala. She's not a pachyderm. Camels aren't pachyderms. Scott. Bactrians. That's it. Not a bacterian. No, there's a type bacterian camel. This is why I love biology to the degree that I take interest in it, because the classification of life is so fucking complicated. And that's why this guy infuriates me, because the crap he and so many others says just tries to dumb the concept down so simple in a way that simply does not at all adequately describe life on this planet. But right, the vice president and hopefully future president of the United States, what a surprise there, I'm on the left, who'da thunk it. Um, she's not a camel, it's Kamala. It's not hard to pronounce. Should I start calling you Kint Hovind? Because I could do that. Sounds stupid and I don't want to say it, but we're just going to mispronounce people's names. Come on, Kent. You're supposed to care about this stuff. You're supposed to care about details. You were supposed to have been a teacher. Does a teacher get their pupils' names wrong? I feel like that would have been ingrained in you, but again, you don't have respect for others, just yourself. So of course you're not going to respect her name, especially since, she's politically the polar opposite of you.
This comment, Joe. Today's guest was one of the guys you need to hear, because if you try to debate or question him, you get schooled. Dr. Kent Hovind has been challenging and debating scientists and atheists and other religious speakers for years, and is kind of the Mike Tyson of debating.
Kent, you're the motherfucking Glass Joe of debating. I mean, not really. You're a slippery snake, the classic used car salesman. You're an irritating person. That's your only strong point, is that you're not Darth Dawkins, but you're getting there. Of just being a pompous ass in debates. Any kind of discussion, really. You're not Mike Tyson, though. You're trying to throw way above your weight class there. Which, back to the Hank Green and Adam Savage stuff, you're trying to fight way above your weight class. These people won't even give you the time of day. At least I hope they won't. Like I said, don't watch Hank, but I hope he doesn't even bother. And Adam Savage, way too much important stuff to do than to bother with your ass down in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Alabama. 70 miles north of Pensacola, because that's the only landmark I know. That's the only place on earth I can identify as Pensacola, where all my life got ruined. Hovind.
I didn't know I was that.
Hey, I'm glad he laughed at my joke.
I enjoy watching Mike Tyson knock him out, boy. He knows how to do it. Okay. Hey, Sergio, get me on Mike Tyson's show. Does he have one? Oh, I don't want to do that.
Fuck is Ken even talking about?
Let's see. He also fit.
Does he even know who Mike Tyson actually is? Is he having confused with somebody else? Kind of wonder there.
Fits right in with us because he's a dad joke connoisseur as well. Amen. Love dad joke. Okay.
No. I'm a fucking dad joke connoisseur. Everybody at work loves my garbage ass humor. You shout boomer shit that is so lame, fucking AI generated Facebook pages wouldn't bother using it.
Okay. You can help us to open for free 8 years now in Dinosaur, Lenox, Alabama. Join our 777 Club. If you like what we're doing, say, I'm going to support you, take you on as a missionary to the blind and the dumb. Okay. Go call Sandra 855 Big Dino, extension 1. If you have any questions about that, website drdino.com. 8.3 years. Let's see. YouTube.
Your website sucks, and I said it before, I'll say it again, that 8.3 years doesn't make you sound special is stupid. Just say 8 years, 4 months, what have you.
By the way, YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, be ready to switch over to something else tonight in the middle of the program because YouTube is not going to like what I'm going to say, and they're probably going to want to shut it off. Okay. Tonight, Whack an Atheist Wednesday. It's a fun game. It's just a game. Nobody gets hurt. Okay. Tonight we're going to whack Kamala Harris. Okay.
Kamala.
It's based on the whack-a-mole game. In the whack-a-mole game, the object is to wait till the mole sticks his head up and then whack him back.
Now, I know I'm belaboring this by the fact of providing commentary. I would speed Kent up, but last time I did that, to make him tolerable to myself, I had to put him at 1.5 speed, and a lot of people watching the video couldn't actually understand him at that speed. They had not trained themselves to listen to someone speaking at that speed, which is completely understandable. But it means that I have to keep things slightly slower. I could go to 1.25, but for this one, I just want to leave things at 1x and see how y'all react to it. But that's why I'm not speeding him up, so in case you were wondering.
Down. Whoever can whack him down the fastest wins the game. Small children learn it. Adults love whack-a-mole. We wait for an atheist to stick his head up with our whack an atheist game. He make a silly claim that his evolution religion is true or has evidence to back it up, and we swiftly, sweetly whack him back down with real science in Christian love.
Yeah, that whole Christian love thing is just disgusting sounding. It's just sweetly and I don't like it. Don't like the way that sounds, Kent. Y'all could come up with a better way to describe it, but you won't. This is why I do whack a Hovind, though. Every time Hovind, sticks his head up, says something stupid, which is all the fucking time, I'm gonna be here, doing the same thing AJ does because I'm inspired by AJ, and I'm having fun with this, and it's helping me with some anxiety issues and the like. Because unlike you, Kent, I'll admit I'm a human being who has some occasional flaws or things he needs to work on. And this is true. Me working on this is actually a way for me to help take the edge off of some anxiety problems I've had recently of just putting myself out there. So this is in a way kind of therapeutic, especially since for years I've been screaming at computer monitors when I hear this guy say crap, and now I can actually put my thoughts out there for, you know, those of you watching to enjoy, to laugh at, to or be critical of. It's whatever. It's a free internet. At least it should be. But yeah, the point is, Kent, I don't like you very much. I don't hate you, but I don't like you much at all. Speaking of me not hating you, I want to say yet again, you really should just take a week off. Because you still sound terrible, and I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. I could be wrong, but your voice is still shot since Sunday.
Enjoy it. So many atheists, so little time. Who gets whacked first? Well, the winner is Kamala Harris. Now,
And in usual Kent fashion, he can't pick a picture of her that is more standard, like her official portrait or anything. He's got to take a picture of her just from a random video, and oddly with captions on. And this is what he and his team do.
watch me carefully here now. We are on lots of different channels. But as of right now, Joe, shut off Genesis Baptist Church and Doc Dino because they get their little thin skins, okay?
No, they're not thin-skinned, Kent. What it is YouTube, as a business, but also just as a matter of principle, generally doesn't like outright bullshit like what you're about to say that is as dangerous as it is, potentially, to the health of possibly millions of people out there. I mean, by definition, millions of people, billions of people, if you count all, reproductive female, I apologize. The gender situation currently is a bit tricky for me to dance around linguistic wise. You understand what I mean, though, and that anyone capable of carrying a fetus to term is in a situation of danger with the kinds of logic, with the thoughts that Kent Hovind has in regard to the subject of carrying a pregnancy. Hopefully that makes that crystal clear as to where I stand on multiple facets of this. But yeah, Kent, YouTube doesn't like that because it kind of makes their platform look a little bad. Not like it's not garbage anyway. Advertisers don't like it. It's just you should realize at a point that maybe what you're saying is bullshit. But no, you double down and think it's just a massive conspiracy against you. Am I part of that conspiracy, Kent? Am I getting paid off by the Illuminati to make these videos that, a couple of hundred people might watch? To give up hours of my day after work to do this? Oh wait, I forget. I don't work. I just get paid off, right? The flat earthers too. NASA's paying me off to promote round Earth, right? Oh wait, you don't believe flat Earth, but you believe every other crazy conspiracy theory out there. Oh, I'm putting this off way too much, aren't I? We're only 3 minutes in. It's a 25-minute video. Let's barrel ahead, baby.
And this is for normal people tonight, okay?
Normal people tonight. Fuck you, Kent.
Okay. So switch over to one of those other ones if you'd like to see the rest of the show.
I take a long sip from my coffee before I spout bullshit.
Okay. Political positions of Kamala Harris. Harris
Kamala.
supports abortion rights, reportedly making reproductive health care central to her 2024 presidential campaign. Kamala, if it's reproducing and they kill the baby, it's not reproducing, is it?
Okay, Kent, you were supposed to be a teacher. Basic grammar lesson from somebody you fucking hated English class. Reproductive health. That means health as in the well-being of the organism, of the human, of the woman slash the parent, the one carrying the fetus. For clarity's sake, I will use the phrase woman in this. Again, understand with my previous qualifiers that I mean anyone capable of carrying a fetus to term, regardless of gender identity. Clear? Okay. The health of the woman, and especially her reproductive system. Because there's cases where some of the issues that can happen during a pregnancy, especially really early on, can completely ruin a woman's ability to ever successfully have a child. Yeah, a pregnancy can fail that bad that happens. And, you know, sometimes an abortive process is necessary to resolve the issue before it become or to resolve whatever could. See, this is already getting to me. To solve the problem before it becomes a serious issue. And that's an unpleasant thought. It sucks when something like that might have to be done. But just as one example, that is the kind of stuff that happens. And that's the whole point. The health of the woman, the health of her reproductive system. It's not about the fetus, especially if the fetus is the cause of a potential health issue, which does happen. It can and it will happen. Ask me how I know, Kent.
Doesn't that stop the reproducing? Hello? What? Health care? Not for the baby, it's not. No, death care.
It's not a baby, it's a fetus, and your death care joke you can shove right up your ass where you pulled it from, Kent. You're the ones obsessed with death.
For the baby. Let's see. Harris has been outspoken about her support for access to abortion and reproductive rights. Does the baby have any rights? We'll see tonight.
I don't know, Kent. You tell me. You tell me what other rights that women have, that minorities have, that anyone who doesn't fit into your idea of a utopian worldview have. You want to talk about rights?
Abortion rights.
What about people who are LGBTQ, Kent? What about their rights? From you and Matt Powell both saying passively something that I won't say because I don't want YouTube up my butt for repeating what you assholes said. But let's just say it is sickening and hate to invoke Godwin's law, but it is some straight up Nazi shit. Fuck you, Kent.
Abortion rights. So the mother has the right to kill the baby. Does the baby have the right to kill anybody?
That isn't how it works, you lying piece of shit. This is the thing he does. He just dumbs things down into the simplest thing. That's what his whole shtick about. I make things simple for people. No, you dumb down complex issues to the point where they're impossible to parse correctly because you've taken away all nuance. Also, loaded word saying baby there. It's a fetus. Those are, definitionally and factually, two different things. One becomes the other. Now, I forget exactly where the accepted dividing line on that is, but that's past the point of what we're talking about, which is where you're going to want to stay because of the sick, twisted ass ideas you have regarding this subject and the way it should be handled.
Uh, let's see. Reproductive freedom. It's not reproducing when you kill the baby, Kamala. Kamala.
Reproductive freedom, again, from a guy who hated English, Kent. Freedom as in liberty on the rights of reproduction. That one should not be saddled with the duty to reproduce, especially under particular situations. No one's sitting there saying, oh, just go get knocked up all the time, blase fair abortions. You know, some people might fall into that shtick, might be into that. I don't know. But that's not what the pro-choice movement is about. But you pervert it into thinking it's just some death factory, symbolically a death factory that we just want to kill all babies, avoid all the fetuses. No, you using that straw man, that lie about the reasoning behind the pro-choice movement, behind reproductive liberty, behind the right to have an abortion, to terminate a pregnancy, isn't about the want to just kill a baby, just like I don't want to be a mother. That happens. That's not what it's all about, though. It's about making sure pregnancies that go south don't result in the death of the mother. It's making sure that, given the woman's choice, she doesn't have to carry the baby of someone who raped her. That a woman actually has a right to her own autonomy, Kent. Something you would never want to happen. Because you don't respect women. You barely respect other men, but you don't respect women. You body slammed your own wife. Go to jail, Kent. And yes, I'm pissed.
There is nobody who has fought as hard for abortion rights and access. Oh, well, let's see. Democrats hope her bluntness on abortion will translate to a victory. I see. NBC, the nothing but crap news channel.
Oh, we got the Dinosaur Adventureland. Um, I'll come up with something to mock DAL with, but this is grade school humor, Kent. Grade school. No, I mean, we're talking like early grade school, like first and second grade kind of stuff. Fucking boomer.
Harris frank talk about abortion and its impact on women's health. What about the impact on the baby's health? And
What if the baby is developing incorrectly? What if the baby isn't going to survive to term? What if the fetus will never be able to live on its own, Kent? Because somehow your perfectly created, your perfect God, perfectly created plan for humans included us to develop incorrectly. And what if that incorrect development, that poor, sorry, this is bothering me. That poor creature that never had a chance due to any number of factors, but not because the mom didn't want it, The mom was so the parents were so excited. We're gonna be parents. We're gonna be a family. We're gonna have a baby. Then they find out that something is horribly wrong, and not only that, that this situation could threaten the life of the mother, Kent. So that baby, as you call it, that's already not going to be able to properly live, as tragic as that is, might kill the mother, might take away someone's wife, someone's daughter. Possibly, if she has other children, another mother might take away a human who has autonomy, who has rights, who has a life. You'd want her to die. This shit is why I call Kent Hovind a goddamn monster. 'Cause that's all he fucking is.
Society's health. Okay. In my humble, totally unbiased, and scientifically correct opinion,
Fuck you, Kent.
a person's position on abortion tells you all you need to know about their understanding of science, scripture, and common sense.
Science, yeah, because people who understand actual science will understand the need for abortion as a medical process to help save the lives of women. Scripture, fuck your scripture. The book's a load of shit. I'd wipe my ass with it if they didn't charge so much at the goddamn bookstore for a copy of that thing. And common sense, fuck your common sense, Kent.
People who believe abortion is okay have zero understanding in any of those. Okay. So here is a interview, let's see, on EWTN News, whatever that is. We're going to come to that in just a minute. My body, my choice. Okay. Well, let's see. If ultrasound could record audio also, here's what that baby would be saying. See the hand there? Hi, Mom. I'm not your body. I'm a growing baby. It was your choice to not get pregnant, but it's not your choice to kill me now. If you don't want me, adopt me out.
Okay, Kent. Let's see. Ultrasounds are literally audio, so you do get recordings. That's why I believe during ultrasounds you hear the baby's heartbeat as kind of a rule. Like they'll go around and once they find it, they let you hear it. You're a growing baby. You're a growing fetus. Depending on if you're getting towards the later stages, you can be called a baby if it's pretty well assured that you are going to be birth's going to be given and survive. You're going to survive. That's my understanding. Again, it's a complex term, so I'm already emotionally by this. So bear with me if I say some stuff that doesn't quite make the most sense. If you can understand my logic in it, then more power to you. It was your choice to not get pregnant. Again, Kent, what if she's raped? Was that her choice? You probably think it was. Fucking monster. It's not your choice to kill me now. It's not a pleasant thing to think about, Kent. No one likes abortion. As I said, except for some people who might have a really fucked up fetish. No one likes abortion. No one wants it to have to happen, especially. But it does. If you don't want me, adopt me out. One, giving birth can kill the mother. It could be a case where she's just not really built or health-wise capable of actually successfully delivering a child. It might be a risk. Ask me how I know. Adopt out, yeah, to our fucked up, overcrowded foster system where people fucking abuse kids left and right because at that point in the foster care system, the kid is just a paycheck to the people. How about you funnel some funds into that, Kent? Oh, wait, you're a right wing nut job, so you want to cut funding to those kinds of programs. You say you're pro life, but as soon as the kid's born, you don't give a flying fuck what happens to him. Fuck you, Kent.
It's not. Look, if it's what is it? If it's not a human being, what kind of being is this?
It is a fetus, Kent. It is gestating into a functional, capable human being. Yes, it is human. But when people, this is again where nuance becomes so critical in that its own autonomy. It wouldn't survive outside of the mother. So its own autonomy and the logic that we used to think of it as a human being, that kind of sentience, that self, that capability to live on its own, in at least some capacity, as in to not be explicitly tied to the mother through the umbilical. It doesn't have that yet in any case where anyone is talking about abortion. Because again, notice what he's showing is, 7, 8, 9 month fetuses, not, early embryos and such, which is the time period we're actually talking about. And we're going to get into time periods on this here in a bit because there's a very common misconception about how the nomenclature for how far along a pregnancy is goes. And this will, if explained, this will show you why some of these abortion bans that are, 6 weeks are so dangerous. But I'll wait till that eventually gets brought up or a good point to bring it up, and hopefully I'll remember to. Hopefully this video won't end without me having brought that up.
Does a woman have a right to abort her baby 5 months before it's born? Kamala, yes. It's her body, it's her choice. Okay. Does she have a right to abort the baby 5 minutes before it's born? Yes, it's her body, it's her choice. Does she have the right to abort her baby 5 minutes after it's born? No answer. Does a woman have a right to abort the baby 5 years after it's born? I bet the kids would behave a lot better. Okay, son, listen to me. One more time, I'm going to abort you.
Haha, joke about murdering your kid. And it is a joke about murdering your kid because at that point the child has been delivered. They are an independent, sentient being. They're what we consider a person in such a regard as the complexities have. All the complex criteria that we think of when we think of that are there. It's not a zygote. It's not a small embryotic entity, still barely recognizable as anything close to human. Which again, we're going to get into the whole Haeckel embryo thing here later. I jumped ahead and saw that. Tutton, I'm going to spoil it now, doesn't look like a human until a good ways in. And what's interesting is that point when it starts to really look humanoid is conveniently about where the abortion cutoff generally is, barring, again, extreme medical situations. But let's continue.
Hey, let's extend abortion rights up until the kid's 18. How many moms thought about that a time or two? No, don't raise your hand, okay? Atheists say it's not a human before it's born because it has gill slits like a fish.
That is a complete fucking lie, Kent, and as I said, we're getting right into the whole Haeckel embryology thing. When AJ debated you, he went through in explicit detail everything wrong with what you're about to say. If you haven't seen AJ's debate with Kent on the gill slits and Haeckel, you may want to check that out. It's pretty damn good. But to summarize, we have similar structures that in fish would develop into gills. In later creatures, they do develop into later things. But the whole point of it is that it's a similar structure being repurposed, almost as if it had evolved. Such a funny concept that maybe the structure got repurposed, as is the entirety of evolution. That various things develop and they tend to get repurposed, tend to get modified. I mentioned before birds on some early avian dinosaurs. You know, birds on or feathers on birds, feathers on those dinosaurs. They are modified scales. My big cactus over there, you can't see it, but I have a very large cactus in my room. Its spines are modified leaves, and the structure, I forget the name of it, that the spines on cacti grow out of are modified branches. Fascinating stuff. And you'd claim common designer, but I mean, if I was designing something to be prickly, I'd just put put the pricks on it. I wouldn't need it to do all this, complex. Oh, you gotta morph this into this kind of process. It would just have it. That's not what we see. Like I said, that's a bit of a tangent. We're getting into the whole Haeckel thing. I'm just gonna let him say his shit. Comment where I can, because I just want to make it through this video, and also let this video act as an archive for any of Kent's, for the fact that he did this. And so it's on YouTube for people to see. Granted, with my commentary, but it's here.
Does Kamala Harris believe the unborn baby is human? Obviously not, if you're allowed to kill it. Atheists nearly always list embryology as one of their best evidences for evolution. They claim it's not a human before it's born because it has gill slits like a fish.
No, they don't.
Just memorize the word farm: fish, amphibian, reptile, mammal, and you got it. So the first step to justify killing it in the womb to lower the population and save the planet is you have to dehumanize it and say it's not a human. It's
And this is where Kent first jumps off the deep end, apparently. It took 7 minutes in for him to, 7:02. Sorry, I just had to make sure. Yeah, 7 minutes in to just completely jump off the deep end. Good job, Kent. Fuck are you talking about? Lowering the population? I mean, there's a lot of arguments that the Earth is debatably overpopulated. I'd say it's a matter of resources are not distributed properly, and we have not moved on to technology that would do much less harm to the planet than what we currently do. But that's an entirely different discussion for another faraway time, because I don't feel like opening that can of worms.
a fish. See the gills? This is what's called a lie, okay? On my seminar,
Yeah, you'd be able to identify a lie, Kent. You seem to be an expert on them. You tell about as many as words you say in a sentence sometimes. It's crazy.
part 4, and we've covered it many times on my channel. Let me get over here to seminar part 4, where I cover lies in the textbooks. We cover the
Lies in
lie
the
about
Hovind.
embryology.
Lies in the
It is
Hovind.
not
And I'll rip these
evidence for
apart.
evolution. And we could spend 3 days on all this about the baby does not have gill pouches. This was proven wrong in 1874. It isn't true.
Aaron Ra covered this whole thing in his complete teardown of your Lies in the Textbook series. There is literally nothing left in that series that hasn't been addressed by him, let alone who knows how many other people. But, you keep going on like a broken record, Kent. The worst possible broken record.
Khan Academy still using it. Evidence of evolution, embryology. Evidence of evolution, embryology, embryology. I could go for hours on this, and I will when I need to. But right now, I got something else I want to cover. Evolutionary embryology, evidence of evolution, embryology,
And he goes on like
evidence from
this.
development. This has been used for ever since they made up the dumb idea in 1869. 5 years later, it's proven wrong. They're still using it because they don't have any other evidence. The presence of fish-like structures.
Don't have any other evidence. Literally, the man claims to have done 300 some odd debates, with the past easily like 200 of them being well documented online, and he's been shown absolute fuckloads of evidence for this, but just says the same shtick. Common designer, it was proven wrong. Hovind. Pretty sure the Bible's been proven wrong in quite a few things, but you just deny that. So, it's par for the course, Kent.
But they're using Haeckel's fake drawings. We did all that before about sick mind Freud and his ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny.
Yeah, Freud was wrong on that. Haeckel's drawings, again, as the debate with AJ goes, we have microphotographs. Now, that's important because, as I said, I looked ahead a little bit in this, that we have the microphotographs. Because, Kent, we have microphotographs of the human fetus in just about every stage of development, as we do with a lot of creatures. Here's a fun one. We didn't even have to cause the termination of the pregnancy to get those photos. They were taken in utero, which, by the way, is the best Nirvana album. In Utero kicks ass. Um, had to bring that up. I can't hear the term without thinking about that album. But, yeah, Kent. just remember this factoid that we have the microphotographs, because the shit you're gonna pull here in a little bit, probably the most dishonest stuff you do during these abortion rants. When you get the sand in your panties to sand in your vagina, whatever, sand in your gaping hole in vagina, to to do these abortion rants.
idea. Those are not gill slits, okay? That's a lie. Those little folds of skin develop into bones in the ear and glands in the throat. They have nothing to do with breathing. Ever.
No one said they did. Again, even AJ agreed that the term gill slits is not quite accurate. They forget the name of them, but it's some sort of term that just refers to the actual pharyngeal arches. That's it. That they develop into various structures in any given creature based on its evolutionary lineage. Insofar as mammals and such are going to get those complex ear bones, your fish and the like, it's going to develop into the gills because those parts have been repurposed or something to that effect. I forget the exact details again, because much as I like this stuff, I don't deep dive into it that much. I don't build my entire life around just one thing or the other. Got a lot of hobbies, so I've got cursory interest in a lot of stuff, but I pay enough attention to know. Well, I mean, you don't have to pay that much attention to realize Ken Hovind is full of shit, but yeah, given a diagram, given a basic explanation of stuff, I can piece it together pretty well. Unlike you, who just looks for whatever you can do to try to say, oh, it has nothing to do with breathing. No one said it did, Kent. You're lying. At
I've seen
least I'm a little more relaxed. I was angry earlier, now I'm back to just kind of having some fun. But man, we've still got a good 20 minutes of this to go. Fuck.
some fat folks got 5 or 6 chins. They can't breathe through any of them but the top one.
Haha, picture of Hillary Clinton that's unflattering. Haha, and boomer. I'm bringing up the 90s. I mean, I enjoyed the 90s as well, Kent. It was a pretty awesome time, and give or take. I mean, Soviet Union collapsed. That kind of sucked, but oh, I kid. But seriously, he thinks making fun of Hillary Clinton is funny apparently. And if you watch other videos of his or people ripping into other stuff, he'll make references to Bill Clinton regularly, as if it's been relevant for the past 23 years.
Now, look, running around with other women is wrong, Bill, but
What did I just say? The fuck did I just say? I didn't know he was going to do that. And I get what he's trying to do here. He thinks he's making a jab at Hillary, like, yeah, I can see why you ran around with other women. It's wrong, but, technically, Kent, technically, you're still married to Mary Toko from a legal standpoint, which means you're running around. Maybe separated, but as far as my understanding of things go, there was never an actual divorce that occurred. The only time you were divorced was with Joe, your first wife, who rightfully divorced you after you managed to get her locked up in federal prison. But you don't want to talk about that, do you? No, that's just more attack Kent Hovind because he knows everything. It couldn't be because you committed, 57 felonies or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the number. It's a really high number. Oh, it was just a conspiracy against you. You're not a criminal.
I maybe can cut you a little slack. You had to come over here. Anyway, we covered the history of embryology. Get my video number 4. Okay, we're going to go to slide number 1208.
No one cares how many slides you
Professor
have.
Dave, still using embryology as evidence for evolution. Dave, this was proven wrong 150 some years ago.
No, it wasn't. We have microphotographs that demonstrate that this is an accurate enough depiction of how the various embryos look as to get the idea of cross.
Get up to speed on your science, Dave, Professor Dave. So this lie is kept in the textbooks to scientifically justify abortion.
No, it's not. It isn't. It's not a lie, and it's in the textbooks to demonstrate the construct that what we can observe, because you always talk about science being what's observable, Hovind, that all these embryos of all these creatures seem to develop the same way. Eventually they start specializing out, and you can tell when it's going to be a pig, when it's going to be a human, etc. But early on, they look near identical. It's almost as if the most basal structures, the most primitive structures, again, primitive to be referring to earlier, not necessarily, simpler, but these earliest structures that would have developed are also the ones that develop earliest in the embryo, as if they're the most critical. The heart, lungs, or some kind of breathing mechanism, brain, the spine, and again, note the tail on humans that eventually effectively dissolves. Um, yeah, it's funny how that works, but no, no. It's funny you don't go common designer for that. You just outright ignore it. Just weird how selective your accepting of stuff is, but I guess since you feel like this one, supports the abortion, to use to justify that it's that's got to be what it is, Kent. It's just a lie there.
which Kamala Harris supports. The
Kamala,
Bible says all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire.
don't care what the Bible
If you offend
says.
one of these little ones that believe in me, be better off to have a millstone hanged about your neck and be drowned in the depth of the sea. Thou shalt not bear false witness. It's a lie to say the baby is not a baby before it's born. It's a baby the moment it's conceived.
That's not what false witness refers to remotely as a concept of just general lying. Also, Kent, doesn't your Bible repeatedly in multiple areas reference the murder of men, women, children in an area? Oh, except the ones that haven't had sex yet. That's, you know, because that's good Christian values. Murder the entire town. Make sure no one exists except for the girls and women who haven't had sex with anyone yet. It's real Christian. Real Christian. Real good stuff. Oh, well, I guess that is Old Testament, which you ignore except for the fact that it's where the entire reason for Jesus coming along is the whole concept of sin, and it's kind of required for the Genesis narrative and Noah and Abraham and all that good stuff. The fall, everything. So the Old Testament is bullshit except where you need it. And, the New Testament is the greatest thing ever, except, the parts that contradict the parts that you want to put in, which is funny because I think just about most of this, I know this Exodus is definitely Old Testament. I don't know about the other stuff because I like better books than the Bible. But, I just wanted to bring that up. No reason in particular, just thought about it, just make sure you don't offend the little ones, as you murder, their whole families and kill their brothers and make sure to enslave the ones who haven't had sex yet. For no particular reason. That's just what God wants.
It's not fully developed. It's not fully developed when they're 15 years old either, are they?
You're 70 and you're not fully developed, Kent.
The abortionist will say, well, it can't live on its own. I know kids that are 35 still home living with mom and dad. Should we abort them?
Not the same thing, you dumbass. I mean, does that need explanation on how blatantly dishonest of a comparison it is? And I know I'm taking it more seriously than it should be when it's a fucking half joke, half not. But you see why this guy's infuriating? I mean, the fuck logic is that? And he thinks he just made a big banger of a point there, I'm sure.
Can't live on their own. Come on. Thou shalt not kill. Here's a Parents Magazine.
Need I say more on the thou shalt not kill with what I said earlier? Um, Whole lot of killing in that book that you say is supposed to be so great. Just saying. If it wasn't such a terrible read, it would honestly be kind of a cool little action book, but action novel. But no, it's a god awful read. Pun intended.
Benjamin Spock. He said, you should not spank your kids, you should spock them. Okay. Each child, as he develops, is retracing the history of mankind, physically, spiritually, step by step. A baby starts off in the womb as a single tiny cell, just the way the first living thing appeared in the ocean. This is baloney, Spock. Weeks later, in the amniotic fluid, he has gills like a fish. Spock, You should know better. This was proven wrong in 1874.
Yeah, that phrasing is incorrect. Don't know, don't necessarily care about Dr. Spock. Uh, that's also just one person saying things the way they feel like it. I mean, he's not the entire community in regards to, children, Kent. But he is very much right on that, on the metaphor of the concept of the child retracing human history, because from a blank slate of a newborn baby, learn how to talk, learn how to walk, learn how to read, learn how to write. At least we hope they get the chance to learn those two, because sadly, there's people out there in the world who still can't read or write. Some in the civilized world, and it's frightening that that's the case. Um, but they start learning how to interact with others, how society works, how to handle conflicts, how to support others, the benefits of being helpful to others. They learn how to love. They learn, hopefully, how to care for their own offspring if they have them. They learn how to work, how to do a good job, and sadly, they also learn how to lie, cheat, steal. It just kind of happens. But and then you start getting into all the complex stuff, everything, technology and our history and all this. And, it hit me at one point that I realized I'm learning everything that my ancestors had to learn, plus more. So it was a very similar idea. And I found it fascinating because it's like, wow, I'm sort of retracing, the history of humanity in a lifespan. It's just a cool idea, and that part I like. The gill slit stuff. That's what the fuck ever. And who knows when that book was? Didn't see what year Kent had up on there, but yeah, just I did think that bit was nice. But the gill slit stuff, and anyone who says it's actually gills is stupid, and that's why no one who has any real value in the actual scientific community says that, Kent.
The bony fish and all other vertebrates, including humans, have rudimentary gill slits during their embryonic stage. American Heritage Dictionary, Science
Again,
Dictionary,
disagree. Again, disagree with that phrasing. So you're not winning there.
Science. That's a religion.
Not a religion.
They say by 7 months, the fetus looks from the outside like a tiny normal baby, but it's not. It's not a baby at 7 months. It's a human at the moment of conception. Let's see, the angel of the Lord said, Thou art with fetus. No, I believe he said, Thou art with child, didn't he? See, it's a child before it's born. Scott Peterson was accused of murdering his wife and
Oh yeah, hitting that hot current news from 21 years ago, the Scott Peterson case that I'm, 20 years later still sick of hearing about myself. Yeah, it was a tragedy. Yeah, Scott Peterson's a fucking douchebag. That's putting it lightly. But you know. Sorry, had a moment there where I was just having to remember hearing about it non fucking stop. What Ken's about to say is that the death double homicide qualifies for death sentence, and they were like, I forget what they did or where they were going to or how it all went, because again I have tried to push this out of my memory, but it's this a common thing where when a pregnant woman is killed, they will try to push double homicide, and the reason is I'm gonna preempt Kent here for his bullshit. The reason is because of the intent to have the child. That's why. Because that was the intent. At least that's my understanding of the nuance of it. I know it gets more complicated than that, but it's not a hard thing to understand and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But of course, you're going to try to use it against everybody because that's just what you do, Kent.
an unborn child. Paula, CNN, the Communist News Network. Why did you call it an unborn child, Paula?
Yeah, your little CNN joke there. Nah, dude. Just, again, grade school. I made better jokes than that when I was 5.
Well, because California has a law. Well, Scott Peterson is found guilty of murdering his wife and son. Wait. The son wasn't born yet, Paula. In California, double homicide qualifies for the death sentence. So when they want it to be a baby, they'll call it a baby. Otherwise, they call it a fetus. You hypocrites.
It's hypocrite, not hypocrite. You fucking. How does someone from Illinois from like Chicago? How, excuse me. How are they this much of a fucking redneck? Sorry, I had to cough for a moment. And unlike Kent, I mute my microphone before I cough, so you don't have to hear it. Um, Again, it's a matter of intent. The law is very nuanced on this, which again, you're noticing a theme here. Nuance, something that Kent simply does not have a grasp of. I can't speak for the details of the law, or especially this case, but it goes back to intent to have the child. And also, for a guy who has no respect for the law or legal cases judged against him, this man brings up the law all the time. It's fucking funny, because you've been convicted of your crimes in an honest court of law, and you reject that. It's just a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy to you, Kent. Go to jail.
Get a real job shoveling gravel or something. Quit lying to the people on CNN and NBC and all the other ones. Fake news, like Trump calls it.
Oh, yes, he calls President Carrot, says his name properly. Fake news. Kent, Trump is the fake news. The man just made shit up through his entire presidency. Before his presidency, after his presidency. Just make shit up. Which, actually, you two would get along great, considering that's all you fucking do. And here come 1,000,001 with child comments. Because, this proves a point.
Let's see. Both the daughters of Lot were with child. She is with child. I am with child. Phinehas' wife was with child. Huh. With child. Used a bunch of times in the Bible. 34% of babies born at 5.5 months survive. This was 20.
Now, this happened to be a statistic I had to look up, and it's still generally true based on things. Again, the sources that I saw used the number of weeks methodology of measuring, but I converted and saw that, yeah, 34% had about that time period to survive. However, providing context, again, to 1998 when this was, or for the statistics I saw when I looked up a little bit ago before recording this, that does include the amazing thing we have called medical science. You know, intensive care units, artificial incubators, etc. Machines built by us specifically for the purpose of trying to keep premature babies alive. Beautiful technology. That's why I'm here. This doesn't mean that at 5.5 months, if someone just the pregnancy just ends and the child is just born that early out in the wild, they're going to survive. Or an area that doesn't have this kind of technology. It's not how it works. It's not what the statistic means. And I don't know where you're going with it, because this is the point where I stopped jumping ahead, so everything after this is the Wild West as far as this video is concerned. But let's get to more of his bullshit.
25 years ago. It's improved now. When can a fetus live on its own? Well, 2003 to 05, 20 to 35% of babies born at 24 weeks survive. Huh. 50 to 70% born at 25 weeks. It's a 21-week-old baby, less than 5 months, holding the doctor's finger.
This didn't happen like this. There's a whole thing out there explaining this. I don't want to get into it because this is just the most dishonest bullshit. It certainly didn't reach out and grab him. The fetus, the child, as he'd want to call it, what have you, doesn't have that kind of motor skill, that sense of awareness, that sense of self. None of it. This photo is the hand basically placed there. Like you would, let's say a dead pet and its paw holding your hand. You placed it there. So this doesn't show what he thinks it, or what he claims it does. sorry, it just makes me a bit sick looking at it and knowing how he's going to use this.
Did surgery on the baby before it was born. Here's a 12-week embryo.
That's not what a 12-week human fetus looks like at all. Just straight up isn't. You hear 12 weeks, you think 3 months. Here's a clue to that thing that I'm gonna bring up in a bit. That'd be 2.5 months. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, it's 2.5 months. I know you're thinking, but Chris, you just counted 4, 8, 12. Measurements are a little bit skewed. But again, I'll tell you about that if you stick around.
12-week. That's obviously human. I know that's a casting of one. Excellent book about the embryology myth. Okay, so when does a baby's heart stop beating? Start beating. 5 weeks of pregnancy, 22 days. She doesn't even hardly know she's pregnant yet. This is less than a month, and the heart starts beating. 22.
This is interesting because this also points to the point I'm going to get at eventually. Because you notice it says 22 days after conception, 5 weeks and 1 day of gestation. That measurement system. I'll go on and explain it. So, the measurement system of weeks is based off of the last menstrual cycle and not the actual time of conception. So, generally speaking, with the way the reproductive system works in women, um, menstruation happens, new layer gets built up, there's a bit of a wait, and then about 2 weeks in, ovulation occurs, and an egg is released from the ovaries, goes through fallopian tubes, all that good stuff, and hopefully embeds in the, or is at least made available to, if fertilized. I believe fertilization has to happen for it to do any level of embedding into the uterine walls. I'm not 100% on that. It's been a bit rough. Been a while since I looked into the stuff, so my knowledge is a bit rough. Which pregnancy could actually happen, or fertilization could happen actually inside the fallopian tubes, and you could actually have the zygote get stuck there. It's a they call it endoscopic pregnancy, something like that. It can kill, so that's a reason for an abortion. Uh, yeah, sorry, this stuff is making me a little upset for again reasons. But that little bit actually goes into that. So 22 days after fertilization, that's generally what would happen in that 2 week period. So you have the missed menstrual cycle, and that's the point where the woman would actually learn, oh, I might be pregnant. So we have a month after the last menstrual phase, which is when the timer started. Ergo, a woman won't even find out she's pregnant until usually 4 weeks in, which is kind of a fascinating thought. What that means is when they want to put in these 6 week abortion bans, that means that the woman has 2 weeks maximum under the most gracious interpretation of things to actually have this happen if she's choosing that route or if there's a need for an abortion. Most women don't usually find out until after that because they miss their period, which happens sometimes, or otherwise it's late, they don't think much of it, and then eventually they start getting actually actively worried. And that's why those 6 week abortion bans are the way they are. It's to make it sound like they're given a bit of time, but they aren't actually given any time at all. It's makes me sick to think of the kinds of bullshit that the religious right in America do to just outright oppress people.
Days. Well, now hold on, all you abortion promoters. If a
No one's promoting abortion, Kent. Fuck you and your biased ass loaded language.
person is declared dead when their heart stops beating, or why aren't they considered alive when their heart starts beating?
Fetus is considered alive. Alive does not intrinsically mean, you know, does not intrinsically mean that it is a person in the way personage grants rights, as was discussed vaguely earlier. Oh, God. See, this is so complicated, but it still is so simple when you really bring it all back together. Because again, alive, and look at that condescending fucking look on his face, like, "Huh, well, got you there. Y'all didn't think about that, huh?" That's again, what about this hypothetical pregnancy that again they do happen where the fetus is not viable. It is definitely alive. The cells are, consuming food or consuming resources. They are expelling resources, reacting to stimuli, and is growing. It's doing the things life does, but it's not gonna be a viable human. Hate to use such a clinical term for it, but that's what's gonna happen. And worst off, again, it's probably gonna take the mother out with it. Yeah, it's alive, but just come on, Kent. I know I'm saying come on, I can't like it's something he doesn't get. He knows what he's saying. He knows the bullshit he's saying. He doesn't care. That's the problem. He doesn't care about reality. He just apparently this shit gets him off. I guess I don't know.
Why is
Wave
this
your
lie
hands
in the
somewhere
textbook?
else, fucker.
It's the only scientific way to justify abortion.
That's not at all what it is.
The Nuremberg File website has the names of doctors who do abortions. Mr. Loki in Opp, Alabama, I tried to locate him today and could not. If you know who he is, he used to have a billboard up, anti-abortion billboards. We need a bunch more on the highway, okay? Let's see. Paul Hill was in Pensacola. I never got to meet Paul Hill. I was busy traveling all over the world. But
Look at that kind of just again little snippets at his character. He's like, "I'm so busy traveling around the world. The fuck does it matter, Kent?" Oh wait, you just want to brag.
he picketed the abortion clinic there in Pensacola and finally shot the doctor who was doing the abortions and the doctor's bodyguard. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection. If you look at his defense in front of the court was, if I was defending my neighbor from harm, if I had to shoot somebody who was going to harm my neighbor, I would not be guilty of murder. Why am I guilty of murder for shooting someone who's going to harm a baby?
It's not a baby, Kent. Not a baby. Again, loaded language. Stuff they're gonna do. The stuff that happens. This is the loaded bullshit. You notice that's all it is try to make it seem like, oh, little bundle of joy, and they're just going in with a machete and just going at it. Not at all what is going on. But yeah, and that's the only way they can justify their bans of stuff is to appeal to emotion. Because science is just wrong, except when it's not. But it's wrong here because Kent Hovind says so. Fuck you, Kent.
Judge said, we're not going to allow that. Wait till Judgment Day. He became the first person executed for killing an abortion doctor. Security outside Florida State Prison was the tightest since Ted Bundy was executed. 50 protesters showed up, far fewer than police expected.
Yeah, because thankfully there's a lot of sane people out there, even in Florida. Let that sink in. Sane people in Florida.
Hill admitted using a shotgun to kill Dr. Britton, 69, and his escort, retired Air Force colonel, on July 24th, but claimed it was justifiable homicide. He represented himself.
Aren't you're right wing, Kent? Aren't you the ones who say that you need to respect the military and all that jazz? You got a retired Air Force colonel, and you don't care that he was murdered by this guy. The guy doing the murdering is the bad guy, or is the good guy? What's that about being pro-life? What about the life of John Boehner and Britain and James Barrett? The 69 and 74 years that they had of life, the families, the friends. You don't care about that, though. You only care to make sure that a woman has to deal with pregnancy that may kill her, or at the very least may make her sick, or is otherwise something she can't financially handle that was not something she planned for because of well, things I can't say here, but again, rape situations. There's lots of them. Lots of shit. I want to say you don't think about, but the horrible thing is, knowing Kent Hovind, he probably does think about that kind of shit. And that's really fucking disturbing. But you don't care about the life of the mother. You only care about the life of that little fetus, maybe becoming a reasonable human. But then after that, once it's popped out, you don't give a flying fuck. It could lie dead on the street, no one feeding it, no one anything. You wouldn't care. Be abused in a foster home, you wouldn't care. Molested by clergy, you wouldn't care. Molested by someone you have hanging out at Dinosaur Adventureland, you wouldn't give a fuck. Could might have a drowning in your pool, or in your lake at your stupid gravel pit, and you'll just say, "Oh, I had a great time. Recommend it." You don't give a fuck about life, Kent. You're in a death cult. All you care about is what happens after you die. Spoiler alert: absolutely nothing. Which shouldn't be a surprise to you, considering that's all that's going on inside that head of yours. Fuck you, Kent.
Did not seek appeals. He said Tuesday had no regrets and expected God to welcome him into heaven. I'm sure he did. See, there are some people who would like to reduce the population of the world. In 2000, the world had 6 billion people. There are some morons out there, pinky in the brain folks, who would like to reduce the population. They call themselves the New World Order. They
Complete insanity. We have crossed over into the Hovind zone, where nothing makes any kind of sense and all of reality is thrown out the window. Starring Kent Hovind, your narrator, me, and this Sharpie marker that you can't see but is totally helping host. See, that's it. Me tapping it on the desk. God, this is what I have to do to try to keep my sanity during this because this is such a slog. But I have a commitment to get through these videos, so we're doing it. We're going to finish this.
want to reduce it to a half billion. Here's a little girl, Anna Rosa. Her arm was chopped off during a botched abortion. Mother was 7.5 months pregnant.
First off, that's a late term abortion. That's not something anyone promotes except for absolute emergency situations where it is explicitly to save the life of the mother. And that's all I've got to say on this one.
She was born anyway. Now, Kamala, do you think that was right to
Kamala.
do that to that little girl? Pensacola, where Paul Hill killed the doctor. National Organization for Wild Women. Now, they do their protesting. Choice above all. Choice for who? The mother? Does the father get a chance to make a vote in this?
You know, in the grand scheme, no. And you might think that that's unfair, unbiased, etc. But in the entire time I was thinking about how I'd answer the question, I was thinking about the mother caring for the child, caring for her own life. And if the situation made it have to happen, the trauma she would go through, the pain of knowing that she has to make this choice when she doesn't want to. But you want to paint it as these are just whores going around getting knocked up all the time. You want to vilify. You're basically vilifying every single woman on earth and saying that they're all just horrible sluts. You're disgusting, Kent. More than just the 15-foot whale penis you like to brag about and stuff. That's skirt over, honey, all that shit. You're disgusting for just a monster for thinking this is what just no, Kent. God fucking damn. You're a monster.
Do the neighbors get a chance? Does the baby get to vote? Abortion is a human right.
Hey, Kent, you're a convicted felon. Do you get to vote? But
Amnesty. You're not free when you can't make decisions about what you want to do with your body. Well, what if the mother has the baby and she gets tired of nursing it? I never nursed a baby. My wife nursed 7. She said it was painful. A nuisance. Got to get up in the middle of the night. Hey, I'm tired of this. Throw the baby away. Can they do that after they're born, Kamala?
I don't know, Kent. Can they? You don't seem to give a fuck otherwise. If the parent doesn't have money for formula and stuff, you don't give a shit. You don't want to fund programs to help them get the resources they need to care for the child. So what the fuck does it matter to you?
Isn't it still her body? Isn't it still the mother's body, Kamala?
Oh, so I guess he's talking about, breastfeeding, which there are other options. We have formulas. We've had them for, God, I don't even know how long we've had, basically artificial baby foods that don't have to be breast milk for the young ones. Um, we've probably been figuring out ways forever, I'm not sure, but we have options. It is current year. The fuck, dude?
It's affecting it. How many of you have had children and it affected you by having to pay for all the stuff they need? It affected your body. You had to go to work all the time. Yeah.
Oh, Hovind hates having to spend money. Oh, I hate having to work. Hovind, I'm lazy. Hovind.
Access to abortion is a human right.
Appeal to my cult following, Hovind.
And making other people pay for it, is that the right too?
There we go. He brought up. Sorry, I was about to do it in the Hovind voice. He brought up making other people pay for stuff. You don't pay for shit, Kent. Fuck off. Right wing nut job piece of shit.
So it's your right to make me and everybody else pay to have somebody else take their baby. I see. Abortion is health care. Oh, it is? Not for the baby.
As explained in the opening, yeah, it's healthcare.
Facts about abortion. What do I need to know? It's a very safe procedure. It's not safe for the baby. Duh. Here's the
Not safe for the Hovind. Durr.
problem. Christianity is our foe, Peter Singer said. If animal rights is to succeed, is that your goal in life? We must destroy the Judeo-Christian religious tradition. Peter Singer from Princeton favors killing babies up till they're 28 days old. Give the mother a choice. After they're born, you can still abort it. That's what Peter Singer favors.
Okay, and is Peter Singer the authoritarian leader of all facets of the world? I mean, this is one guy saying one thing. Don't agree with him. Don't know him. I sort of recognize the name, but I don't know the guy. This is supposed to be from Associated Press, November 22nd of 1999. So again, coming a few months shy of 25 years old, and this is the best part. You see the citation down there? See geocities.com, Athens Agora 2900, PSAI.html. GeoCities has been defunct for like near 20 years, Kent. That link is long dead. That link is so dead that the redirect links that redirected it to whatever replaced it are dead. You type in geocities.com, Athens Agora, whatever, and a fucking Commodore 64 somewhere in Brunswick, or New Brunswick, Canada, blows a capacitor. Because that's the first time any data is accessed it in 20 years. And now I'm just being hyperbolic to make myself laugh. I know the internet isn't run on Commodore 64s, at least none of the normal parts of the internet. I had to have some fun there. Do I need to explain? Just a little bit of levity here. We got a little bit more to go. We can do this.
Why? What's with these folks and the pro-abortion? Well,
It's not pro-abortion. It's pro-choice. You're not pro-life. You're pro-birth.
in Elberton, Georgia, in 1980, I believe it was, somebody
Oh,
put these big, huge
God.
granites.
The Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, they're gone. Also, they were put up by an insane person. Written by an insane person. They're just some crazy shit somebody made up. Kind of like your Bible.
Slabs up there. Somebody blew them up, a couple of years ago. I had nothing to do with it, okay? But they had the 10 Commandments for the New World Order in 12 languages. The English side says, commandment number 1,
Someone put these big buildings. Someone put these stones up, and because I like things from the Stone Age, I'm gonna believe that these are something serious that somebody wanted. I don't know why I just turned Kent into a fucking redneck, but whatever.
maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Sounds like evolution. Let the strongest survive. The first of these new principles unveiled in 1980 was Wayne Mullinex. He's the one who primarily did it, and various other local dignitaries instructed the reader to maintain humanity under 500 million. Total global.
Sorry for not commenting, but I'm pretty sure he just goes on about this for a while, and I have nothing additional to add. And on the principle of getting through the complete video without edits, we're just going to let it play. Once again, I do not condone, support, or otherwise validate anything that Kent Hovind or his associates say. Also, he's not a doctor. If he's a doctor, I'm sure as hell a doctor.
Population then was about 4.5 billion. Now it is 8 billion. And they want only a half billion people to be here. The man behind the guidestones was troubled by overpopulation. I guess so.
Man behind the guidestones was a goddamn nut job. You and him should get together, Kent.
He said, I am the originator of the Georgia Guidestones and the sole author of its inscriptions. He called himself R.C. Christian, Roy Christian, just to fool everybody. Okay, it was Wayne Mullinex.
Oh yes, nobody can have an online alias. It's just to fool everybody. Hovind. Ken Hovind isn't my real name. My real name is Joe Schmo. Yeah, Hovind.
I have had the assistance of a number of other American citizens in bringing this monument into being. We have no mysterious purpose or ulterior motives. You want to reduce the population to half billion, and that's not an ulterior motive? Kill off 94% of the people? We seek.
Once again, a little grammar Nazi moment there, Kent. Ulterior motives imply hidden motives, otherwise motivations that are secondary and not specified. What you're focusing on is a specified motive, therefore it is not by any definition an ulterior motive. If this was an edited video, this is also the part where I'd put in the song Ulterior Motives, but well, this is being done live, so can't do that. Shout out to the guy who realized, or the people who found out that that song, this mysterious song on the internet, was from a piece of adult entertainment. It's pretty funny. Funnier than Kent. And certainly a funnier subject than that of this video, but okay. We're going to power through the end. Let's do this.
Common sense pathways to a peaceful world. Oh, peaceful if you're in the 6%, huh? Not for the other 94%. They got to die. This is evolution 101, folks.
You know, Kent, they're all going to die eventually, and I am in no way condoning the 500,000 concept here, but, could be implied that you try to. Well, actually, I see where Kent's going with this, so I can't even go that far, but just. Even then, it's crazy, so I'm not going to go any further because it's the exact point that Kent wants to make. And, yeah, as I thought more about it, I'm like, wait, that doesn't work out the way he wants it to. Because what I was going to say is, well, you want to, as people age and naturally die, you want to keep the population level lower. You keep birth rates low, keep things sustained in this hypothetical situation. And that's Kent's whole point, is that, they're going to do it by abortion, abort all the babies so people aren't having babies. And that wasn't the direction I was going. My focus was going to be on more of, it wasn't going to be a matter of murdering all these people. It was going to be a matter of letting the numbers naturally decrease. But he wants to take it as enhance the process. That's the support of abortion. It just becomes a semantic mess of, well, this, well, that, and God damn it, all the Hovind is getting to me.
You select a group that's the fittest, and the unfit have to die. Wayne Mullinex, it's very simple. Let me explain it to you. If you think the world's overcrowded, get off anytime you want. We got a big sand pile here. We can backhoe. We can bury it.
Okay, yeah, even at 1.25 speed, Kent's a little too fast for probably a lot of people. Also, let's note that he just told someone to kill themselves and said that he'd assist with it. It's pretty fucked up, Kent. Pretty fucked up. Also, last I checked, don't your beliefs on the construct of religion and your hypothetical afterlife condemn the act of one taking themselves out? The fuck, Kent? You say you want to save people, but you want this guy. Yeah, that's a funny thing to bring up. Says he wants to save people, but he brings up this guy and says that he should off himself, thus condemning himself to hell. Um, so you don't want to save him, Kent? Mr. Crocodile Tears on every Sunday broadcast? The fuck, man? The fuck is wrong with you? Alright, you're a narcissist, amongst other things. Cult leader.
If you think 94% of the world's population needs to die, are you and your family in the 6% that get to stay, Wayne?
Yeah, see, that's what I was getting at earlier. 94% needing to die. No. The number just needs to be decreased, and as nature takes its course, it could be decreased. Again, I am in no way condoning that logic. I am just playing, pun not intended, devil's advocate to what's actually being said by the idea. Does it matter, though? Georgia Guidestones thing and the 500,000 population thing? Load of bullshit.
Look, if you think it's overcrowded, get off. Go kill yourself. Don't kill anybody else.
There we go. Ken Hovind literally told somebody to kill themselves. That would be the point where YouTube would have a problem with it. Must reiterate that in no way, shape, or form do I condone anything that Kent Hovind says, and me presenting him on my YouTube channel in this fashion of providing commentary and live reaction is specifically for the sake of providing context to actual reaction, actual live thoughts. Fuck Kent Hovind and everything he stands for.
God blessed him and said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. See, God wants the world full of people. Thus saith the Lord. God himself formed.
If he wants the world full of so many people, why do so many pregnancies self-terminate? I mean, you know most pregnancies end in miscarriage before the woman ever even remotely knows she's pregnant, right? You know that, right, Kent? And God just allows that to happen? Funny, if he wants the world to be, filled with people, that wouldn't happen.
The earth, he formed it to be inhabited. That's why he made it. Jacques Cousteau said, to stabilize world population, we need to eliminate 350,000 people a day. Okay, Jacques, you go first. Okay.
Don't know the context there, but I'm willing to take it that and probably other commentary here. Apologize. Now everyone in the audience is going to yawn. That's taken out of context as him quoting something or someone else or some concept provided in some kind of discussion. That happens a lot. The types of quote mines that happen here, or quote mining incidences that would happen here, I would say it's wild. Everything a person says is taken out of context when it comes to creationists. But we get told that by Hovindites and stuff that we're taking Hovind out of context when we show his own damn words. Or that we're not refuting anything he says, like everything's a debate. Everything is not a debate. This video isn't a debate. I don't know what this video is at this wreck, or at this rate. It's pretty much a train wreck, but isn't that everything when it comes to Hovind, especially more than an hour of the man? Let's finish this.
Ted Turner, founder of the Communist News Network, said a total world population of 250 to 300 million. A 95% decline would be ideal. Okay, Ted, you go next. Take your wife Hanoi Jane with you. Okay.
Yeah, just told Ted Turner to self-delete. quality person there. Remember, this is a Christian. This man, this is a good righteous man right there, telling people to off themselves. What a fucking monster.
Eric Bianca, University of Texas, Arlington, had a speech at Texas Academy of Science.
It's just going to go on like
Bianca
this, isn't
endorsed
it?
airborne Ebola as an efficient means for eliminating 90% of the world's population. He received an enthusiastic and prolonged standing ovation for recommending airborne Ebola wipe out 90%. I bet YouTube won't get upset about that. They'll get upset about this program. Why don't they get upset about what he says?
I don't know. Can you show where this is on YouTube in an explicit, you know, like presentation, as in not a documentation of the presentation, but as a thing to be presented? Because there is a nuance to that. Um, it's hard for me to describe, especially being as tired of this as I am. But is this even on YouTube? Was this even actually said? I don't know. I'm not going to take your word for it because you lie. There's citations there. One could follow the citations if that link still works. Again, there could be a lot of context missing. This could be some kind of hypothetical and not a serious statement. Context is lost when it comes to creationists.
Okay, Eric, you go third, all right?
And I guess I must specify that I am not in any way condoning any kind of mass euthanasia or anything of that nature. In my, I don't want to say defensive statements, but in my statements addressing Hovind's claims of these statements being made, I am simply going to the point of I don't trust Hovind's assertment. What he says must be taken with a very large grain of salt, and a lot of times when researched, it's proven to be a quote mine, be taken out of context in some capacity, or be an outright fabrication. So that's as far as I'm going with that. Hope I've made myself clear. And the only reason I'm so hell bent on specifying these things and these opinions is because for some crazy reason, people always want to misconstrue stuff I say, like Hovind would, misconstrue stuff I say to something I'm not, or otherwise imply something that's not there. And I've had to apologize through my online career, uh, be very, very explicit in how I address anything I perceive as something someone could latch onto. So that's why.
We need to cut world population and redistribute resource. That's code word for communism. Take from the rich, give to the poor. Take from those who work, give to those who won't work.
That's not communism, Kent.
Paul, you go forth anytime. World population plan of action. Look, y'all can get off anytime you want. They think the world's overcrowded. We got to reduce the population.
Okay, we
The
get
Lord
it.
said to Satan, because you did this,
The serpent was not Satan. The serpent was literally just a talking snake. The Satan character would not exist until far later. I believe it's strictly a New Testament creation. I could be mistaken, but I do believe it is strictly New Testament. And it most certainly, they are not the same character regardless of the origins of the Satan concept in the story in and of itself, in the Bible in general. So you don't understand your own Bible, Kent. I mean, that's it's pretty par for the course for the average atheist to understand the Bible better than the average Christian does, but it's especially something for me to understand this nuance better than you do.
no trick Eve, upon your belly, you're going to go there and eat dust all your life.
Yeah, funny then that snakes, eat rats and other small creatures that they can get a hold of, or sometimes larger creatures. Just depends on the size of the snake. Sure as heck ain't eating dust. Yeah, maybe might ingest a little bit of it, but they ain't going out and being like, "Oh, that's a good pile of dust right there. I'm gonna go eat that dust, Hovind. Snake Hovind, 15-foot snake Hovind, Hovind."
I'm going to put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head. The devil knows someday some seed of the woman is going to bruise his head. And so he's decided to kill all the babies he can, kill every human he can. He's got some people convinced that it's their job to kill.
Okay, I don't know what that bruises head comments about. I have no fucking clue. This is just straight batshittery. Also, you're right wing, Kent. Aren't you the ones who use the Gadsden flag all the time? No step on Sneck. Actually, I have an idea on returning that flag to more original connotations and having an association with the left wing, but that's something I eventually need to write. That's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, in this case, American politics and especially symbols of America have been greatly perverted by the extreme right wing of our political system and people like Hovind.
Kill 94%. He doesn't. They don't know it. But when they're done, he's going to kill them. When Herod wanted to kill baby Jesus in Bethlehem, you know what he did? Slew all the babies. Just be sure to get the right one.
Good Christian book. Good, 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 good. Morals for the children. Kill all babies. Kill all babies? Kill all babies? Oh, if you get the kill all babies reference, you are awesome. If not, that's okay.
Charles Wooster said, "People are the cause of all the problems. We have to get rid of some of them." Okay, Charles, go. Bill Clinton said we must reduce the Earth's population to a billion or reduce the standard of living to an agrarian peasant status. Right, Bill, I can see you out there plowing a plow and planting corn. You probably haven't touched dirt in your life.
Oh, God, can't see. There you go. Talking about Bill Clinton. Again, I'd love to see context on this. I don't know what. And his point is that everyone's being serious about this too, and that this is some active conspiracy. That's his whole thing. Is that this is an active conspiracy, and it's just so nutters to think that I can't even take him seriously on this. That's why I'm so just burnt out at this stage. Beyond all the other bullshit, beyond the rage that this started with. How can you take this seriously? This guy's a joke. You're a fucking joke, Hovind. You're a joke. It's all you are to us. Gonna keep milking that lol cow for everything it's worth. Until there's nothing left to milk.
You go next, okay? If the pro
Yep, there we go. He just told the former president of the United States to self-delete. Quite a respectable fellow there, isn't he?
abortion folks want to help lower the population, let's consider a couple other options. They always say we have to abort the baby to unwanted births.
I just want to remind that this is complete bullshit. He has created this entire insane conspiracy narrative, and he's just running with it. He's created a fan fiction of reality, a real shitty one.
How about let's abort the mother instead and adopt out the baby? Huh? How about let's abort the father? Let's abort the doctor. Hmm? Maybe we should abort the politicians who vote to legalize it. Maybe we should abort the judges who rule to support it. Maybe we should abort the media folks who support it. How about we abort the evolutionists who believe in it, that they're nothing but animated meat and they're related to a mosquito? Hey, you're not worth anything anyway.
No, I'm worth quite a bit, Kent. I don't know if you are. I mean, what's the value of a Kent Hovind? How much would you pay for Kent Hovind? Sorry, that's slavery, isn't it? And or an element of slavery, and us in the civilized world don't believe in slavery or accept it. But guess what book does support slavery? That's right, Kent. Your favorite Bible.
You should abort them. What do you think, Sergio? Abort them? The ones who think they're just animated meat? Yeah. People wanting to adopt. Between 1 and 2 million couples in the United States are actively trying to adopt a child. 2019 study, National Council of Adoption, reported 115,000 adoptions. Wait. There's between 1 and 2 million that want to adopt, and 0.1 million actually got adopted in 1 year.
Well, Kent, how are you helping this process? Are you supporting these agencies? Or are you voting, you and your cult, voting on extreme right wing nut jobs who want to defund everything and thus effectively shut these facilities, these groups down. Which is it, buddy? Do you not want to fund social services? Is that too much like communism, socialism, isms? Or do you want kids to be adopted out? Because you can't have both. Oh, you don't want taxes, but you want the roads to be good. Well, that's not how it works. Or you don't want taxes, but you want police and fire to help you out. And no, there's no funding for it. I want them to pave Pearl Lane, but I don't want to pay my taxes. There's no money for it, Kent. It's one or the other. You can pay for shit anyway, so what does it matter? Look at who I'm talking to. Monster who just told like 6 or 7 people they should kill themselves. And is serious about it. Like, not play serious, not joke serious, not morbid humor serious. This man is completely all in on this shit. He isn't just saying hypotheticals. He thinks this is reality. What the fuck?
So a whole lot of people are waiting to adopt. We don't have to abort anybody. Nobody has to be aborted. And Kamala Harris supports this.
Her name is Kamala, and as I've explained multiple points in this video, so I don't know why I'm reiterating myself, there are lots of valid reasons for abortion. I mean, it's kind of how it works. It's kind of how the whole abortion, construct has been framed, is through many valid cases where it's judged that this is probably the best course of action. For who? For the mother who may die, amongst other reasons. Two can play the emotional appeal game because, it's kind of what it boils down to, Kent. It's us caring about other humans, other people who are here. As I said, it's a real shitty subject. Real shitty. No one likes it. Not like you think they do. But it's something that needs to be addressed, and something that sadly sometimes needs to happen.
Wicked, evil practice.
Yep, that's Christianity in a nutshell. A wicked, evil practice. Hovind.
I'm sorry, Kamala. You're not getting my vote. I'm going to tell everybody else I can think of. Vote. Trump's not God. He's not perfect either, but he's the best of the two options, okay?
See. Also, Kent, that's a violation of your 501(c) if memory serves, is to show support of political candidates in such a capacity, or otherwise say you're going to tell people to vote. I may not be exact on the nuances of that, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing churches aren't supposed to do. So, you might be violating the requirements of your 501(c) classification there.
So maybe somebody else will come up with the third option. Okay, I think that's it, brother. Yeah, okay. Any questions or comments? Got a few?
Do I want to do the comments? No, I don't. I've had enough of Hovind. I'm tired. I'm going to get this video double checked, make sure it came out okay. Toss it on the YouTubes and go to sleep. That being said, if you're still here, toss a subscribe over. Give the video a like at the very least. You've obviously sat around for it, so I would hope you enjoyed it. If not, that's cool too. Let me know in the comments stuff you might want to see, or comments or criticisms. I'm working on honing my craft, making this as efficient as possible, because I don't want to spend any more time than I have to on these, but I do want to make them. I'm having fun with this. That being said, you're awesome for sticking around. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, night, whatever. And if you ever need to reach out or just want to chat, you can find me on the internet. I've got links. I got a main link in the description. Got links on the channel. You can find me. So I'll be around. Take care, everyone. Later.